guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Casey, and this week on Adapted Adventures, as I promised, I'm going to do a review of my Freewheel, which is a new piece of equipment I just got for my wheelchair. We're going to talk about some of the advantages, some of the disadvantages, how to set it up, and then some of the tips that I can give you just from my experience with using it so far. So let's dive in. So I ordered mine online from a online like DME provider. And when you first get it in the box, you get obviously the Freewheel, which looks like this, except for this piece isn't on here yet. And then it also comes with a couple of these. They're called shams, and I'll get into that and what they're used for in a minute. They're little like plastics pieces. It comes with another different length back end. This is that piece that goes right here on the Freewheel. And then it also comes with a couple of different pieces here, which are attachments for this thing here, which is what the Freewheel connects to when you don't have it on the front of your chair. So I'll give you a little bit more explanation about what all these are for, how to set it up, and we'll go from there. So it also came with an instruction booklet. Make sure you absolutely read the whole thing before you start trying to set yours up. It takes you step through step, but the couple of steps, in my opinion, are a little bit in the wrong order. So just make sure you read the whole thing when you're setting yours up. How you set it up will vary greatly on which wheelchair you have. I have a Performax, and this one doesn't advertise that it will fit on a Performax. It does, but it does advertise that it'll fit on quickies, folding chairs, tie lights, and all those sorts of things. So getting it set up, what you need to do first is get it out of the box, and then this part here swings around like this. And for the setup, when you're first trying to get it set up for height on your chair, you need to have it like this. And it explains it all in here as well. Just like I said, make sure you read all those directions first. And the way it actually works then is you have this handle here. Here, let me swing around a little bit. And then the little metal clamp, the silver one here you can see, that goes right underneath the front of your foot plate. And then you pull it forward so that's away from your foot plate, and then you clamp this down. And then you can see it doesn't do anything right now, but when you twist it around like this, you can see that then it raises the front end of your chair up in the air, and it gives you clearance on your on your front casters. And that's the big thing, the reason I got it, so that way when you're going over uneven surfaces and cobblestone, or even maybe on the beach in the sand and whatnot, it gets these front wheels off the ground so they don't dig in. Another thing about the setup that we can talk about now too is that it does have this pretty cool little piece that comes with it too. So when you're not using it on the front end of your chair and you just want it for storage, so you don't have to carry it around, it does come with this little L bracket that has different endings to it, and those are all different sizes because depending on the front end of your chair, you're going to have, this is going to be a different shape or a different thickness, so they need to have one that matches. So this is pretty handy. You can just put it on the back of the chair like this, and then that comes up and you clamp it down just like you would if you're doing the front of your chair. And then I don't have it tightened down right now because I haven't used it in a little bit, but it just hangs on the back of the chair like that. I did notice when we were traveling in Europe that my backpack would push against that if I was pushing around with it, but most of the time I'm not going to have a huge backpack on, so it wasn't that big a deal. Alright, so overall I would probably give my Freewheel a 4 out of 5 or a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The only drawback that I would give it, maybe in setup, I would give it like a 2.5 out of 5, just because that first night when I was trying to put this together, it was super frustrating. So that was one big disadvantage, and like I said, not something I'd advocate for very often, but if you have the opportunity to have someone help you with it, absolutely take that. Beyond that though, the advantages of having this were phenomenal. When Andrea and I went to Europe, and being able to go over cobblestone and not have to worry about a crack in a sidewalk or uneven surfaces. Some of my trips when I've taken in the past, I spent so much time looking down, making sure I'm not about to hit something that's gonna make me fall out of my chair. And for this trip, I truly relaxed and was able to look up and enjoy the scenery and my abs and my body didn't hurt after a long day of pushing on the streets, because you're not constantly like tensed up being prepared for that next bump or that next jolt. And this gave me a lot of freedom. So definitely the advantages of having this outweigh the disadvantages. Another great thing that I love is having that carrier on the back, so when I go into a store or something like that, it pops off real quick. We throw it on the back and you're going, again, you're not trying to like figure out shoving it in a bag or trying to carry it around. Even if you do need to carry it, it is quite light, maybe 10 pounds at the most. So that's great too, and it's very durable. I knocked it into some stone and stuff when we were there, and it nicked a little bit, but it's heavy duty metal. That's pretty light still though. It's got a nice big wheel, I think it's 2 1/4 on the front, and I was even looking about this rim, and I think with this fork, I could probably put a 2 1/2 or maybe even a 3-inch tire on there. So if you wanted to, you needed a little bit more cushion for maybe the beach or something, you could probably put a bigger tire on that as well. So pro tip of the day, one thing I have realized with using this now is if you don't get it on straight on your foot plate, it can make your chair pull to one side or the other, which obviously is not fun when you're doing that for a full day. So one thing I haven't done yet, but what I am going to do is I will like maybe take a level or I don't know, something, so I can make sure it is actually perfectly straight, and I'm going to put it on my foot plate like that, and then I'm going to mark my foot plate like either with a groove or some sort of paint, and then that way when I need to put it back on, I can just make sure that it's lined up inside those marks that I made and then go on my way. So that might be something you want to consider too, to make sure, or to give you a little bit more ease of use and make sure that you're tracking right. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed the Freewheel review. If you can get your hands on one of these, absolutely do it. Other big pro tip of the day, I know you're getting 2 pro tips today. Use HSA money or FSA money if you have it available, because this qualifies. It's wheelchair equipment, which in my opinion, works for HSA. So anyways, that's how I paid for mine, which worked great. And I hope you, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this review. Make sure if you liked the video, you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for more stuff coming out soon. We do travel blogs, equipment reviews, every day kind of wheelchair life stuff. So if you want to find out more about my adaptive life, Andrea's dealing with my adaptive life, and our fun faces, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell too so it dings when we send out a new video. So enjoy your week, and we'll see you next week on Next Adaptive Ventures.